humans traced routes over the oceans, before science understood the great marine migrations, there already existed giants capable of crossing entire seas, guided by currents, seasons, and ancestral instincts. In the infinite ocean, among tropical waters, frozen seas, and lightless abysses, whales, sharks, giant manta rays, and sea turtles embark on extraordinary journeys to feed, reproduce, and survive the dangers of the marine world. Welcome to the infinite ocean, the great journey of giants across the seas. Please give us a like and subscribe to the channel to give us more motivation to continue creating quality content. Don't forget to comment your thoughts on the video below and let us know where you're watching this video from to discuss together. Let's begin. The Pacific Ocean is the largest and deepest on the planet, an immense blue world that covers more than a third of the Earth's surface. In its depths lies the Mariana Trench, while the Pacific Ring of Fire surrounds its margins with intense volcanic and seismic activity. Thousands of volcanic islands and coral atolls emerge above its waters, forming some of the most diverse marine ecosystems in the world. From the immense darkness of the ocean emerges a deep, very low-frequency sound that can travel hundreds of kilometers underwater. It is the announcement of the arrival of the blue whale, the largest animal that has existed in all of Earth's history. An adult can exceed 30 meters in length and reach nearly 180 tons in weight. Its huge body stores large energy reserves, allowing it to travel thousands of kilometers during its annual migrations. Due to their size, adults have almost no natural predators, except for occasional attacks by pods of orcas. However, maintaining such a gigantic body requires consuming enormous amounts of krill every day. For this reason, they depend on the cold, nutrient-rich waters where these tiny prey concentrate in the millions. They generally live alone or in small groups and migrate between feeding areas and the warm waters where they reproduce. Beneath the surface, an immense cloud of krill begins to concentrate, forming a dense living school. The blue whale accelerates slowly while opening its mouth to an impressive angle. In a single impulse, it passes through the krill school and takes in thousands of liters of water along with millions of small crustaceans. Then it closes its mouth and uses its long keratin baleen plates to expel the water while retaining the food. Each lunge provides the enormous amount of energy necessary to maintain the metabolism of the largest animal on the planet. Despite its colossal size, its feeding depends on organisms that barely reach a few centimeters in length. This extraordinary relationship shows how even the largest giant in the ocean depends on the balance of the smallest levels of the food chain. In the immense waters of the Pacific, the blue whale represents the ultimate expression of marine evolution, a species whose survival is deeply linked to the health of the entire oceanic ecosystem. Each of its migrations reminds us that even the largest animal in history depends on the extraordinary biological richness hidden in the planet's oceans. The Atlantic Ocean stands as the second largest body of water on Earth, connecting continents through a constant flow of energy. Its deep currents act as thermal conveyor belts that regulate the biological balance of the entire planet. While the blue whale continues its journey through the frozen sanctuaries, another titan begins its sovereign exodus toward the equatorial waters. The humpback whale, known scientifically as Megaptera novae anglii, is the personification of resilience and mystery in the immense blue. Its pectoral fins are the longest in the animal kingdom, reaching a length of 5 meters, granting it superior tactical agility. An adult specimen can reach a biological mass of 30,000 kilograms, projecting an authoritative presence in every rhythmic movement. This species is famous for its complex songs, rutilant melodies that travel through the abyss and can be heard kilometers away. Males compose these biological scores to establish a social order and maintain clan cohesion during their movements. Its strategic advantage lies in an extraordinary internal compass, allowing them to navigate through ancestral routes with sovereign precision. They possess a collective intelligence manifested in their sophisticated, coordinated feeding maneuvers in the northern regions. However, the biological permanence of this giant faces the challenge of a massive energy expenditure during its 8,000-kilometer migration. Nursing mothers must manage their thermal resources with strict economy to guarantee the integrity of their descendants. In areas of abundance, the group organizes the bubble net tactic, a masterpiece of technical cooperation. Individuals expel air rhythmically underwater to create a cylinder of bubbles that surrounds and neutralizes schools of fish. After establishing the perimeter, the sovereigns of the sea launch their vertical charge from the gloom, emerging with invincible power. Their jaws open to engulf tons of water and food, processing oceanic vigor with millimeter technical efficiency. Each lunge generates a thrust force of thousands of newtons, demonstrating the physical supremacy of these architects of the currents. After securing sustenance, humpbacks continue their journey toward tropical bays to complete their biological renewal cycles. As a keystone species, their work guarantees that the balance of the Atlantic remains healthy for all marine lineages. Megaptera novae anglii is the sovereign heartbeat of freedom, a gem of evolution breathing in the immensity of the aquatic sanctuary. In the narrow cracks of water recently opened by the giants of the Arctic, mythical silhouettes emerge crowned by long spiral tusks. The narwhal, known scientifically as Monodon monoceros, is the sovereign of the crystal labyrinths at the end of the world. Its most imposing characteristic is an ivory tusk that can reach a length of 3 meters and weigh 10 kilograms. This rutilant organ is not a combat weapon, but an extraordinary biological sensor with millions of nerve endings. An adult specimen reaches a biological mass of 1,600 kilograms, maintaining inexhaustible vigor under the frozen blanket. They possess a high-resolution echolocation system that allows them to map the architecture of the ice in total darkness. These majestic cetaceans initiate daring descents toward the abyss, reaching depths of 1,500 meters below the surface. In the abyssal darkness, they detect the biological pulse of Arctic cod and squid to ensure their nutritional sustenance. After the successful hunting operation, the clan must perform a rhythmic navigation to return to the vital air openings. Their survival depends on perfect synchrony with polynyas, the liquid oases that allow their rhythmic gas exchange. As a keystone species, the narwhal is the guardian of the health of polar oceans and the barometer of climate changes. But beneath the calm waters where narwhals swim, a group of highly organized hunters follows every movement in absolute silence. They are orcas, known scientifically as Orcinus orca, the largest members of the dolphin family. Their extraordinary intelligence, speed, and enormous strength make them one of the most efficient predators in all the oceans. Each population develops its own hunting techniques that are transmitted from generation to generation as a true animal culture. However, that specialization also represents a limitation, because many populations depend on a very specific type of prey. Orcas live in stable matriarchal families, where the most experienced females guide the rest of the group throughout their lives. In front of a floating ice block, a seal remains resting without perceiving the danger approaching beneath the surface. Several orcas line up carefully before swimming at the same pace toward the ice. With a powerful collective impulse, they generate a wave that breaks over the frozen surface. The force of the water washes the seal into the sea, where the rest of the group already waits. On other occasions, they surround enormous schools of fish, forming perfectly coordinated circles to concentrate the prey. Each individual knows exactly its function, reducing any possibility of escape to a minimum. Constant communication through sounds strengthens a coordination that very few animals can equal. Thanks to the combination of intelligence, experience, and family cooperation, orcas dominate marine ecosystems from polar regions to tropical oceans. In every ocean of the planet, orcas demonstrate that supremacy does not depend solely on force, but on the ability to learn, transmit knowledge, and act as a perfectly synchronized team. Leaving the roots of the open sea, the story turns toward the coastal shelves, where a silhouette of great vigor navigates near the dry land. The grey whale, known scientifically as Escherichthus robustus, is the sovereign of the shorelines and the great traveller of marine frontiers. This majestic cetacean can reach a length of 15 meters and possess a biological mass of 35,000 kilograms of pure muscle. Its skin exhibits a unique mottled pattern, decorated by colonies of barnacles that act as a rutilant mineral armor over its structure. Its biological advantage lies in an extraordinary resistance, allowing it to complete an epic migration of 20,000 kilometers between the Arctic and the tropics. It possesses a superior biological memory that allows it to navigate with precision through coastal corridors using Earth's magnetic fields. Unlike its relatives of the depths, this inhabitant has perfected a unique feeding method on the seafloor. It dives toward the mineral substrate to suck up sediments rich in small crustaceans, processing the vigor of the submerged land. Its short, rigid baleen plates function as high-power filters, separating vital energy from mud and sand with sovereign efficiency. When winter arrives, mothers guide their calves toward the temperate lagoons of Baja California, sanctuaries of peace for the renewal of the lineage. However, its trajectory through shallow waters represents a biological challenge due to the intense pressure of modern transport activities. Sonic noise and the transit of massive ships force these giants to maintain constant sensory vigilance over their rhythmic environment. To mitigate these risks, the grey whale uses the narrowest channels to protect the integrity of its descendants from unwanted encounters. As a keystone species, its sediment removal work oxygenates the seafloor, guaranteeing the vitality of thousands of smaller biological species. Escherichthus robustus is the eternal sentinel of the coasts, a monument of resilience that joins the cold seas with the warmth of home. When navigating toward the extreme north, the liquid horizon transforms into a labyrinth of crystal and perpetual frost. The bowhead whale, known scientifically as Balaena mysticetus, is the undisputed sovereign of the Arctic sanctuaries. This titan of the cold is a masterpiece of biological engineering, adapted to reign in the coldest waters of planet Earth. It possesses a massive and reinforced skull that acts as a biological ram, capable of fracturing ice layers 60 centimeters thick. Its thermal fat layer reaches 50 centimeters in thickness, a powerful armor that preserves its internal vigor. It is the longest-lived mammal in the biosphere, able to navigate polar currents for more than 200 years of existence. An adult specimen can reach a biological mass of 100,000 kilograms, projecting a presence of great authority under the ice. Despite its physical magnitude, its navigation is leisurely, reaching a cruising speed of barely 5 kilometers per hour. Its rhythmic life is dictated by the expansion and retreat of marine crystal, following the water corridors allowed by the season. While the whale shark feeds peacefully, another silhouette emerges from the depths, designed for a completely different form of hunting. It is the great white shark, known scientifically as Carcharodon carcharias, one of the most formidable predators in the ocean. Its extraordinary sense of smell can detect tiny concentrations of substances released by a possible prey at great distances. In addition, specialized structures called ampullae of Lorenzini allow it to perceive weak electric fields generated by other animals. Its powerful musculature provides it with explosive acceleration, while its teeth are continuously replaced throughout its entire life. However, it needs to consume prey with high energy content and maintain movement to favor the constant passage of water through the gills. They generally live in solitude and travel long distances between the coasts and the open ocean, following the availability of food. Beneath a layer of dark water, a great white shark slowly ascends without being detected from the surface. On the surface, a seal swims confidently without noticing the presence of the predator approaching from below. At the precise instant, the shark accelerates with extraordinary force, propelled by a powerful movement of its tail. Its attack is so explosive that its huge body completely emerges from the water while attempting to capture the prey. Everything happens in just a few seconds before the ocean returns to its apparent tranquility. This strategy takes advantage of the surprise effect and reduces the prey's reaction possibilities to a minimum. Thanks to millions of years of evolution, The great white shark combines speed, precision, and extraordinary senses to dominate a large variety of marine ecosystems. From coastal waters to the open ocean, the great white shark demonstrates that a predator's true efficiency is born from the perfect combination of adaptation, power, and precision. Leaving the frozen surface behind, the journey continues toward a world where sunlight disappears completely, and the realm of the depths begins. There appears the sperm whale, known scientifically as Visitor macrocephalus, the largest predator with teeth on the planet. Its huge body is adapted to perform dives that can exceed 2,000 meters in depth and last for more than an hour. A powerful echolocation system allows it to emit intense sonic clicks and build an acoustic map of the dark ocean. However, even this giant depends on air to survive and must always return to the surface to breathe. Calves do not yet possess the physical capacity necessary to accompany their mothers to the deepest zones of the ocean. Females live in stable family groups, while large adult males usually travel solo through the open sea. An enormous male begins a slow descent toward absolute darkness, where the pressure increases with every meter traveled. In that deep silence, its powerful acoustic signals travel great distances, looking for any echo that reveals the presence of prey. Finally, a large squid appears among the shadows of the deep ocean. The sperm whale accelerates with powerful movements of its tail while chasing the prey in an environment where vision is almost useless. The entire pursuit depends on the precision of the echolocation and the extraordinary ability of the animal to orient itself without light. After capturing the squid, it begins the long ascent toward the surface before depleting its oxygen reserves. Very few marine vertebrates can explore regions so frequently, where darkness and extreme pressure completely dominate the environment. In the depths of the ocean, the sperm whale demonstrates that the combination of resistance, echolocation, and extreme adaptation allows it to conquer one of the most inaccessible habitats on Earth. In the submerged gardens of the Indo-Pacific, a figure of a rutilant aesthetic emerges that dominates the rhythmic stratum of the ocean. The lionfish, known scientifically under the genus Pteror, is the absolute sovereign of elegance and danger under the warm currents. Its physiognomy is a masterpiece of biological design, decorated with rhythmic stripes of crimson, white, and deep brown. It possesses a series of 18 venomous rays, a biological armor of great power that protects its physical integrity before any proximity. These dorsal spines contain a complex of neurotoxic proteins that act as a sovereign warning for the great strategists of the sea. With a length that can reach 45 centimeters, this inhabitant deploys its rutilant streaks to blend with the coral architecture. Its biological advantage resides in its massive and fanned pectoral fins, precision tools used for tactical navigation. Upon identifying a source of biological energy, the lionfish initiates a slow approach, using its fins to surround and limit the space of its target. This maneuver of rhythmic siege neutralizes the escape capacity of the small reef inhabitants, ensuring the success of the operation. The final phase of the encounter occurs with a suction speed of great magnitude, processing sustenance in a minimal fraction of biological time. Its stomach possesses an extraordinary expansion capacity, allowing it to ingest biological resources that represent 30% of its own mass. An adult specimen can weigh up to 1.5 kilograms, maintaining a constant vigor in waters that oscillate between 22 and 30 degrees Celsius. The presence of the lionfish in new oceanic sanctuaries represents a biological challenge of great impact for the balance of local biodiversity. As an invincible strategist, it lacks natural regulators in many regions, which guarantees the permanence and expansion of its rutilant lineage. The lionfish is the testimony of technical beauty and silent power, a joy of evolution that reigns in the crystal abyss. From the frozen shadows of the abyss, the story ascends toward tropical waters where sunlight feeds the vitality of the ocean. A silhouette of monumental proportions emerges, known as the whale shark, the indisputable sovereign of marine serenity. Scientifically named Rhincodon typus, this gentle giant is the largest fish that navigates planet Earth today. Its physiognomy stands out by a pattern of rutilant spots and lines that evoke a star map on a background of deep blue. An adult specimen can reach a sovereign length of 18 meters and a biological mass of 20,000 kilograms. Its strategic advantage lies in its capacity to process minimal biological resources through a large-scale filtration system. It possesses a mouth 1 meter 50 centimeters wide, designed to engulf massive volumes of energy-laden water. It navigates with a majestic parsimony at a speed of 5 kilometers per hour, following the warm currents of the globe rhythmically. This majestic inhabitant is a long-distance traveler that travels thousands of kilometers to locate plankton sanctuaries. Upon detecting a high density of nutrients such as fish eggs, the giant opens its oral structure to initiate the vital exchange. Its gill arches act as biological precision filters, capturing thousands of microorganisms while displacing the excess liquid. It processes about 6,000 liters of water every hour to maintain its biological vigor in an environment of dispersed resources. Although it prefers the sovereignty of solitude, it can group into temporary tactical units where the abundance of forage is supreme. The pattern of its skin is as unique as a fingerprint, allowing each individual to be identified by its rutilant architecture. Its maturity cycle is leisurely, reaching biological fullness near 30 years of existence in the oceanic sanctuary. It inhabits waters that maintain a rhythmic temperature between 21 and 30 degrees Celsius, preserving its internal thermal stability. However, its slow navigation makes it vulnerable to the transit of massive ships that cross its ancestral routes. The pressure of human activities represents the most imposing challenge to the integrity of this lineage of millennial travelers. As a keystone species, its work guarantees the health of food chains and the balance of biodiversity in tropical seas. The whale shark is the gentle heartbeat of the deep blue, a testimony of elegance and resilience in the heart of water. While the great white shark withdraws from its coastal domains, the deep waters receive a legion of silhouettes of unique and mysterious architecture. The giant hammerhead shark, known scientifically as Spherna mocaran, is the sovereign of sensory perception in the immense blue. Its most imposing characteristic is the cephalofoil, an expanded cranial structure that functions as a masterpiece of evolutionary engineering. This physiognomy grants it a 360-degree field of view, allowing it to monitor the ocean's rhythmic horizon with absolute authority. The cephalofoil houses thousands of ampullae of Lorenzini, allowing it to detect the electric fields of prey hidden beneath the mineral stratum. It possesses superior tactical agility, performing sharp turns and rhythmic maneuvers that exceed the flexibility of other great strategists of the abyss. An adult specimen can reach a length of 6 meters and a biological mass of 450 kilograms of pure vigor. Although it often patrols alone to ensure its sustenance, this inhabitant congregates in massive herds during its migratory trajectories. Hundreds of individuals navigate in perfect synchrony through warm currents, establishing a social order based on proximity and respect. The strategist begins its rhythmic search by sweeping the seafloor a few meters from the sand, using its head as a biological detector. Upon identifying the pulse of a stingray buried under the mud, the shark activates its intervention sequence with sovereign precision. It uses its massive head to immobilize the target against the substrate, neutralizing any attempt at biological response in an instant. It applies an impact force of 1,000 newtons to secure the biological resource, guaranteeing the operation's success in the gloom of the bottom. However, its large surface fins make it vulnerable to the pressures of human activities that fragment the ecosystem's balance. The hammerhead shark is the sentinel of the reefs and the deep blue, a gem of evolution that guards the biological health of the ocean. In the vibrant coral gardens that adorn the warm waters of the Pacific Ocean, a rutilant inhabitant emerges. The clownfish, belonging to the subfamily Amphiprionidae, is the undisputed sovereign of color in the rhythmic stratum of the reef. Its physiognomy is a masterpiece of nature, standing out with a vibrant orange tone decorated with 3 vertical white stripes. Each of these rutilant bands is delimited by a thin black border, creating a visual contrast of great biological authority. This majestic inhabitant possesses modest dimensions, reaching a sovereign length of between 10 centimeters and 18 centimeters. Its existence is defined by a sacred pact of symbiosis with anemones, organisms equipped with tentacles charged with urticating energy. While other reef inhabitants neutralize their vigor upon contact with the anemone, the clownfish navigates among them with impunity. The secret of its invulnerability resides in a layer of specialized mucus that coats its cutaneous structure absolutely. This chemical armor prevents the anemone's defensive cells from activating, recognizing the fish as part of its own architecture. Through this biological connection, the clownfish obtains an impenetrable refuge against the great strategists of the deep ocean. In exchange, the anemone benefits from the rhythmic cleaning performed by the fish, removing parasites and remains of organic matter. The constant activity of the clownfish oxygenates the host's tentacles, guaranteeing the health and vigor of the shared ecosystem. Its diet is versatile and balanced, processing small crustaceans, rutilant algae, and its protectors' surplus resources. The social structure of this lineage is fascinating and strict, governed by a dominance system where the female exercises supreme authority, The family group is organized rhythmically under the command of a single matriarch, who is usually the individual with the largest biological mass. In this biological order, only one pair possesses the sovereign right to reproduction, ensuring the integrity of the future lineage. One of the wonders of its evolution is sequential hermaphroditism, a strategy of biological permanence of great sophistication. If the alpha female concludes her life cycle, the breeding male undergoes a hormonal transformation to assume the throne of matriarch. This amazing change guarantees that the clan's hierarchy and stability do not vanish in the face of the loss of its sovereign leader. The clownfish is the heartbeat of the reefs, a gem of evolution that demonstrates that greatness resides in absolute harmony. Following the trail of the sharks toward warm waters, majestic figures emerge that seem to fly under the rutilant mirror of the ocean. The giant oceanic manta ray, scientifically known as Mobula birostris, is the undisputed sovereign of the deep currents. Its massive pectoral fins act as biological wings, reaching an impressive span of 7 meters in the most vigorous specimens. An adult specimen can possess a biological mass of 2,000 kilograms, moving with a parsimony that captivates observers of the abyss. Its strategic advantage resides in an extraordinary resistance, allowing it to navigate thousands of kilometers through tropical sanctuaries. It possesses the highest brain mass ratio among fish, giving it superior intelligence and exceptional biological memory. In its frontal section, it deploys the rhythmic cephalic fins to direct the flow of nutrient-laden water toward its oral structure. The strategist deploys a technical maneuver known as barrel rolls, rotating on its own axis to concentrate plankton at one point. It filters thousands of rutilant liters of water every day, processing the vital energy of the ocean with amazing technical precision. These majestic inhabitants frequent sanctuaries known as cleaning stations, where small fish purify their cutaneous structure with calm. However, its lineage faces extreme fragility due to a very low renewal rate, having only one descendant every few years. The pressure of human activities represents the most imposing challenge to the integrity of these architects of the currents. In moments of great vigor, the manta can propel itself out of the liquid element, performing jumps that challenge gravity with sovereign force. As a keystone species, its work guarantees that the biological balance of the pelagic zone remains stable over time. Mobula birostris is the indomitable spirit of the deep blue, a masterpiece of evolution that navigates with invincible elegance. While the mantas continue their rhythmic flow with the current, an ancestral inhabitant emerges from the abyss that guards the memory of the oceans. The leatherback turtle, known scientifically as Dermocheles coriacea, is the absolute sovereign of marine reptiles and an incantable traveller. This majestic being is distinguished by possessing a shell of elastic connective tissue, a soft armour that allows it to challenge the pressure of the abyss. Unlike other lineages, its external structure lacks rigid bone plates, facilitating superior hydrodynamics in the depths. An adult specimen can reach a biological mass of 700 kilograms, projecting an imposing presence on the blue horizon. This colossus performs daring descents to 1,200 meters in depth, surpassing the physical limits of most air-breathing vertebrates. In the open sea, it rhythmically locates its favorite energy source, the translucent jellyfish drifting in the rutilant currents. It possesses backward-oriented esophageal spines, precision tools that ensure the flow of nutrients to its internal system sovereignly. It navigates thousands of kilometers guided by an internal biological compass, returning with millimeter accuracy to the beach where it began its existence. Upon reaching the coast, the turtle must face the challenge of Earth's gravity, where its movement becomes leisurely and solemn. It uses its posterior fins as engineering tools to sculpt a mineral sanctuary in the temperate sand of the coastal sanctuary. The female deposits about 100 biological spheres, ensuring the permanence of its lineage before returning to the refuge of the liquid element. However, the future lineage faces critical fragility before the terrestrial strategists that rhythmically monitor the nest's perimeter. The small descendants must perform a rutilant race toward the ocean, neutralizing the risks of the terrain to reach maturity. The leatherback turtle is the testimony of millennial persistence, a masterpiece of evolution that breathes with an invincible elegance. Its life cycle joins the dry land with the infinite horizon, reminding us that life is a sacred journey back to origins. Protecting the sovereignty of their migratory routes is to safeguard the thermal and biological balance of one of the purest ecosystems on Earth. This majestic reptile will continue navigating through the sovereign currents, guaranteeing that the ocean's heartbeat never loses its rhythmic vigor. Beyond the beaches where turtles start their lineage, a figure of surreal architecture leans under the sun to absorb thermal energy. The ocean sunfish, known scientifically as mola mola, is the sovereign of parsimony and one of the strangest inhabitants of the immense blue. Its physiognomy lacks a conventional caudal fin, appearing as a giant head that navigates rhythmically through temperate and tropical currents. An adult specimen can reach a biological mass of 1,000 kilograms, becoming the heaviest bony fish guarding the oceanic sanctuary. This majestic inhabitant possesses extremely thick and leathery skin, a natural 7-centimeter armor that protects its physical integrity. Its biological advantage resides in amazing fertility, being capable of releasing 300 million biological spheres in a single reproductive cycle. Despite its magnitude, the molar is a leisurely swimmer that prefers to let itself be carried by the rhythmic flow of massive ocean currents. It performs daring incursions into the abyss, descending hundreds of meters to rhythmically locate jellyfish and soft-bodied organisms. After the exchange of energy in the freezing depths, the giant ascends to the surface to regulate its biological temperature under the rutilant sun. However, its slow navigation makes it a traveling sanctuary for hundreds of parasites that adhere to its cutaneous structure. To mitigate this biological challenge, the strategist rhythmically seeks coral reefs where small inhabitants purify its external armor. Surgeonfish larvae and other rutilant species process the unwanted elements, guaranteeing the health and vigor of the crystal giant. Its versatile diet allows it to act as the great regulator of jellyfish populations, maintaining the dynamic equilibrium of the food chain. As a keystone species, its presence indicates the vitality of pelagic ecosystems and the purity of the waters it travels in its millennial journey. The ocean sunfish is the testimony of silent resilience, a gem of evolution that floats with invincible elegance in the heart of the deep blue. Beyond the silhouettes that navigate the abyss, there exists a sovereign and invisible force that governs every cycle of marine existence. Marine currents are the silent architects of the ocean, rhythmically transporting heat, oxygen, and biological vitality. They function as large-scale planetary arteries, moving billions of rutilant liters of water through thousands of kilometers of distance. These submerged rivers distribute essential nutrients from the frozen depths to the illuminated surface sanctuaries. For great strategists like the blue whale and the white shark, these currents are the sovereign routes toward their sustenance areas. Sea turtles and giant mantas use these invisible corridors to navigate with an energy economy of great technical precision. It is a millennial navigation system where the water temperature dictates the rhythm of the massive migrations of each lineage. A minimal variation of barely 1 degree Celsius on the surface can rhythmically alter the biological fate of millions of beings. When mineral heat shifts, food sources like plankton and small fish migrate hundreds of kilometers. The sovereigns of the abyss must adjust their search tactics, following the thermal pulse of an ocean that never remains static. Currents are the world's thermal motor, regulating the biological balance and the health of the biosphere with invincible authority. Without this constant flow of energy and oxygen, the rutilant architecture of the reefs and the abyss would collapse in a brief period. Every drop of water transported is a promise of life, guaranteeing that the heartbeat of the deep blue continues to resonate for eternity. Understanding the sovereignty of currents is to recognize the absolute interconnection that unites all inhabitants under the liquid horizon. The ocean is a majestic living organism, a monument of movement and vigor that breathes through its invisible paths. However, these invisible paths not only lead to abundance, but also guide the sovereigns through relentless challenges. Large-scale storms shake the ocean's architecture, forcing the giants to perform extreme biological efforts to maintain their course. The nutrient scarcity caused by the rhythmic displacement of water masses tests the energy reserve in their structures. The stalking of strategists like orcas represents a constant threat even for the largest scale inhabitants of the blue abyss. The transit of massive ships interrupts the peace of ancestral routes, raising the risk of accidental encounters on the rutilant surface. Fishing nets and lost lines function as invisible traps that compromise the smooth navigation and integrity of travelers. Noise pollution underwater saturates biological radars, making communication and orientation difficult in the oceanic vastness. The success of these lineages is leisurely, for many species require decades to reach their full reproductive maturity and biological vigor. The low renewal rate, with a single offspring every several years, makes each loss represent a severe impact on the population. It is a biological truth that physical magnitude does not guarantee invulnerability to an environment that transforms constantly. The recovery of the sovereign pods requires decades of absolute balance and rhythmic protection of their reproductive sanctuaries. The sum of external pressures weakens the resilience of the colossi, forcing them into a struggle for permanence that challenges time. The fragility of these giants is the mirror of the health of the global ocean, indicating cracks in the millennial survival web. Navigating thousands of kilometers is an act of biological heroism, where each unit of energy is invested in the continuity of life. Understanding the cost of this journey is to honor the majesty of the beings that breathe under the sovereignty of the liquid horizon. While the last great journeys conclude, the liquid horizon continues its rhythmic movement, but the ancestral paths are changing. The transformation of the climate alters the mineral temperature of the currents, forcing the giants to recalibrate their biological compasses constantly. The acidification of the waters represents a silent threat that weakens the biological architecture of corals and the base of the food chain. Synthetic waste and microplastics saturate the blue abyss, infiltrating the internal vigor of the purest inhabitants of the oceanic sanctuary. Massive industrial navigation increases the risk of accidental encounters, disturbing the biological peace of the migratory corridors that have existed for eons. The excessive extraction of biological resources drains the ocean's energy, compromising the biological stability of future marine lineages in the world. Protecting feeding sanctuaries and biological renewal areas is an ethical imperative to ensure the permanence of global biodiversity. The health of each individual species is intrinsically linked to the integrity of the survival web that connects the entire terrestrial globe. Safeguarding invisible biological corridors allows the heartbeat of the deep blue to continue resonating across kilometers of rutilant water. Our mission is to guarantee that the elegance and vigor of the great travelers endure in the face of pressures from modern and industrial development. The ocean is the rhythmic lung of the world, regulating the thermal pulse and the purity of the air we breathe in each biological day. Preserving the majesty of this kingdom of crystal is protecting the rutilant heart of our own existence and the vitality of the dry land. Subscribe to the channel as well as sharing this video to carry this message of respect far. Every gesture helps protect nature's wonderful creation.